Hey everybody, Sir Gregory here with Myelin Productions. We're here at Red Crags Estates in Manitou Springs, Colorado, USA. As you can see, awesome, beautiful location here in Manitou Springs. Red Crags has been awesome in supporting the Myelin Productions Eye of Noor vampire series. We're now doing the Draco Ortus, Dragon Rising, Eye of Noor web series, webisodes. Today I am with two of our top actors and trainers and instructors for the movie and for the training for the movie in the sword fighting and the self-defense martial arts. Sir Evan Jackson and Squire Nicholas Olson. Nick Olson is a martial arts expert and instructor, and Evan is a fight trainer and swords instructor as well. Both of these guys are very crucial, and not only in their roles as paladins, the holy warriors who hunt down and track and kill the pureblood vampires and the turned vampires. The purebloods are the Nosferatus, and the turned vampires are the Manitus, the hollow dead, who are also called hunters. These guys are paladins, and they train slayers, and the slayers track down the hunters, and the paladins track down the Nosferatus. They've been training here and working on this project for a while. Evan is one of our originals from the original Eye of Noor series several years ago. And Nick has joined us in the last couple of years. Fantastic training. They both have made fantastic contributions. We're very glad and very pleased to have them. We'll start with you, Evan. You play a paladin.
My character is Nolan Phelan. He's an imbued paladin. He was actually born a human and given the immortality and the strength of the paladins through his service in the time of King Arthur, and now serves with the paladins, fighting the Nosferatu and the vampires.
Now, your character, Nolan, actually leads a paladin strike team of slayers called Saxon Axe, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. And you did a lot of training with them in actual real sword fighting and real swords.
Yeah, we train, we work everybody up from a very basic level with just basic sticks, dowel rods, and we move up to heavier sticks and eventually on to real steel, and we rehearse each scene that we're doing with a sword fighting over and over again with the sticks and then with steel until everybody is comfortable with it and we can perform it at full speed for the camera.
Excellent. And Nicholas, you actually play, you're not an imbued paladin, you're an actual paladin. You weren't made a paladin because of word, conduct, and deed. You were actually created a paladin.
Yes.
And you actually lead also slayers, and you attack the vampires as well.
Yes.
So, and you do a lot of the training, and you teach them a lot of the martial arts hand to hand. How have you enjoyed that?
Well, I've completely enjoyed it. Actually, in the movie, I do train other slayers, and I kind of reflect off of other paladins, which is kind of nice because off screen I'm kind of doing the same thing, so it actually kind of works out a little bit.
So you actually do a lot of training.
Much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, both of you as characters, where you have to hunt down and track and kill these pure-blooded vampires, these that were never humans. They're the serpent creatures that can appear as humans. The web series has a lot of action scenes in it, and a lot of them very tight places. For example, on a ledge behind us, we filmed in there several times. So how have you guys felt when you start looking at the real history, the true history, the ancient history from Sumer, Egypt, Babylon, talking where these ancients wrote that they worshipped these original vampires, they worshipped these beings, and you guys are playing characters that go back thousands of years, the paladins who hunt them down. How is that, how have you gotten ready for that? What have you done to put yourselves into that mindset?
I've tried to think of all of for my character, because he's been around for a while and he started as a human, I tried
King
to think
Arthur.
of it, yeah. And I try to think of the different historical battles that have happened in the world.
Nice.
And how a character who is a holy warrior and who has lived through the time periods, how he would go into those battles and what point of view he'd have coming out of those battles. And I've kind of tried to adapt his personality, his outlook, based on the experiences he might have had from being a veteran of great wars like World War II or even older battles like the Revolutionary War.
Okay, and then even further back, and the humanity of that, as we've talked about in the series, the evil, the Amalekites, these evil beings, these creatures that are behind Running Man and creating wars and creating trouble, and you guys have been fighting them for centuries and centuries, and that's a very good approach, and I know you've taught others to use that same approach. And Nick, what have you done to get into that mindset of the character?
Well, just reading about those stories about ancient Sumer and all of the kind of the evil folklore tales that we all hear about, it kind of puts my character into context a little bit, because my character has been around since Dawn first broke over mankind. I've been protecting them from the forces of darkness ever since.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. So it kind of puts my character into context a little bit, because he's a very wise old spirit, and he's actually witnessed all the wars that these evil beings have caused, and by man's own self-interests.
Right.
So he's had quite a bit of experience through all of this stuff.
Now, some of the other paladins that you guys are working with is Sarah Hartman, Shale LePage, very, very good actor, very accomplished. Shale's an awesome actor. Sir David Card, one of the main original trainers from all of this, who also plays. These are other paladins that are involved in this, and you guys have actually worked together with them multiple occasions, doing fight scenes and getting things together. So as a collective group of paladins, and we've had Christopher Scott, who has also been involved, another martial artist, as you guys get together as paladins, as these holy warriors tracking down these evil beings, how has that kind of shaped the way you view the real world? Because I mean, you've done this research, you've done this stuff, whether anyone believes it or not, whether you think it's all mythology or all true or a mix of both, the fact is the world is full of evil, and there are people who do fight evil. There are people who stand up against evil. There are people who oppose evil. How has that affected the way you guys view the world in general?
I think one of the big things is it puts a different light on some of the things you see happening in the world, whether there's a design behind them or not. There's all kinds of developments in between social and economic troubles that happen in our times, and how people will soldier on and carry on without any care for the way that their views have been shaped and changed over time.
So you're saying you become more observant.
Yeah.
You've taken a look at things on a bigger picture, broader picture.
Yeah.
Rather than just this passing media bits that we get.
Yeah, and it gives you a bit of a question when you see various things happening in the world. You wonder what's really going on there, what's behind all of this.
Excellent. Also, I want to add, we do have another paladin, Sir David Frank. And Sir David Frank and Sir David Card are both military veterans with a lot of background. And David Frank is also another martial artist. And I know you guys have worked considerably together. And I throw him in there because I didn't want people to think that we had forgotten about Sir David Frank, because he's also an excellent trainer. Nick, how has playing this role affected how you view things?
Well, it kind of made me a little more open-minded on how I can see situations differently, because training so long as a martial artist, you'll develop your own sense of justice about things. You'll kind of look at things and kind of determine, is it right or it's wrong. But with stories like this, it kind of puts a whole different spin on how you can view the world.
Yeah. And Evan, you mentioned other time periods. Part of our web series is we're actually going to have a World War II segment where people are actually dressed as Germans in World War II, doing some stuff to infiltrate some things, and of course dealing with the Russians, the evil empire of communism and the evil empire of Nazism. Those are both playing into the web series. You actually fight communists in the web series, and you fight Nazis in the web series. So I mean that's putting a nice little spin on there. And there's a lot of other evil systems in the world. Sharia law, fundamental Islam, the Sharia law that dismembers and disfigures and just does horrific things to people and kills them because they don't believe a certain way. These are all evils that this series represents standing up against and fighting against. And as paladins know, even though you can't completely remove evil and stop evil, you can take a stand against evil. If it's in your own life, if it's in your own community, if it's in your own country, if it's in your own whatever it is you have, you as an individual can make a difference in the world. You as an individual can stand up and do what is right and expose evil and expose bad and expose what's wrong. Myelin Productions is dedicated to giving everyone a free voice, a free chance, an opportunity to be heard and to be seen. And part of the Eye of Noor vampire series is about that. Our vampires don't sparkle. They don't roll around on top of each other covered in blood in these bizarre erotic scenes. Our vampires are real, and they represent, as far as real I mean, they represent the true stories and legends of vampires, the evil that they represent, the pure evil that they represent. And you have people who oppose that. The people who play our vampires do a great job. Excellent actors. Jeremy McKittrick, one of the fantastic actor. And then of course you have a lot of other people playing vampires and playing slayers and playing vampire hunters, the vampires that are turned humans, they're hunters. And then you have people playing the paladins. So the Myelin production series, Eye of Noor, now into the web series Draco Ortus, represents that. The ultimate battle of good versus evil, right versus wrong, light versus darkness. We want to thank everyone, especially Red Crags. We want to thank By the Sword Incorporated in Florida. We want to thank Steak and Bake and other people who have worked with us and helped us. And we are very appreciative to all of that. So, any last words that you guys want to say as paladins?
Pretty set. I'm good.
Keep your eye on Nicholas Olson and Evan Jackson. You're going to see these guys around a lot more. They're also trainers with Citadel Process, our training company that teaches survival, safety, and security. Thank you for watching. Thank you to all the fans. We appreciate you a lot. Thanks to everyone who's supporting us. You'll see a lot of us. You'll see at the Film Fest, at the conventions. We're around. Myelin Productions. Thank you very much.